Hello everybody, Joe Bag Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Umineko, and happy Halloween everybody. It is, as I'm recording this, it is Halloween today. It's going to be, if you're watching this when it goes live, and you're on the east coast of the United States, it'll be 7 a.m., November 5th, but at least today, for me, in this very moment, it is Halloween, and I'm spending it doing this. I was supposed to be at work, and I was, but there's nothing going on. And it's a really stacked shift, and I worked all weekend, so they said, just go home. So here I am, at home. I didn't have anything planned to do tonight, because I'd planned to be at work, so yeah, now I'm sharing it with you guys. And even if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have gone out or done anything tonight, honestly. I'm currently in the process of dying from eating an entire large serving of Wawa's chili yesterday for dinner. And, oh man, it would be a false statement to say my insides are bothering me because I no longer have any insides. They're all gone. Everything. I'm just an empty husk now. Where there once was chili, there is now nothing. Yeah, and that's the state we're recording this in. So if there's any weird cuts, it's probably because I've gone to die somewhere and had to, like, take a shower and then come back and start recording again. Either that or work called and they decided they needed me for something after they said they didn't. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. Anyway, I started up the game. There's no Halloween message. Sad for me. I was thinking maybe there might be a little something, maybe a little notification, because one thing that if you, oh god, what was it? In Kagetsu Toya, if you loaded it up on Christmas, you would get a special like developer message because the 25th is Arcuwood's birthday, and there'd be a special, like... Kagetsu Toya is weird, but every time you, like, reload it, you get a message from the developers, either about some inane bullshit or, like, trivia from, like, the lore. But that one, it would just be like, happy birthday to me for Arcuwood, and be like, aw. But, no, nothing. No Halloween from Maria, or Beatrice, that's her name. I totally didn't forget, like, the main quote-unquote antagonist, I guess, so far from our perspective of the story. That might change, who knows? We'll find out by reading it instead of me stalling, because maybe this time, in this part, we'll find out what's in those letters this time. Probably one of them's the same as last time, but now there's a mystery letter in the mix. Anyway, all the kids got told to fuck off, adult talk. Hideyoshi's claim that advertising double the taste was apparently right. The kids in Nanjo, who had been chased out to the guest house, had gathered in the cousin's room, and were eating the cake that Kumasawa had brought there for dessert. It was both wonderful and high class, with lavish amounts of cream and decorated deliciously with fruit. But even if it was delicious, for some reason, it didn't taste quite as good.
ゴーダさんの脳書きがないと味ってずいぶん落ちるんだな。
脳書きを求めようにも熊沢のばあちゃんに聞いた日にゃこのケーキの原料もサバってことになっちまうぜ。
Nice savory fish cake.
ほんと？サバからケーキってできる？
I mean, you could. Like, instead of, like, rum-soaked raisins, you just throw in pieces of fish. God, now I really want some, like, some alcoholic fruit. But I'm not going to drink. Mainly because I'm trying to lose weight and I'd get fat as fuck if I chugged an entire bottle of sake.
それが本当ならすごいね。お父さんの店の新メニューにサバケーキとか登場するかもしれないよ。
It's probably good for you. Good, give you a nice sheen to your coat.
サバって栄養満点でヘルシーっぽいイメージがあるしよ。女性とかお年寄りに人気が出たりしてな。俺は食わねえけどよ。
女はそんな下手物は食わねえぜ。
年寄りも遠慮したいところですな。
美味しいんですけどね。
Yeah, but I'm more of a herring person than mackerel. Kumasawa was really raising the mood with the mackerel jokes that were her specialty. But the sound of the downpouring rain invariably focused their concern on the mystery guest. In the end, they ended up showering Maria with questions again, since she was the only person here to have met Beatrice.
まさかあの話が本当だったとはね。
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, huh?
その口ぶりだとマリアが魔女に会ってたって話は信じてなかったまでにも初耳じゃねってことらしいな。
ああ、
Maybe don't be talking about not believing her directly to her face.
夢見がちなお年頃のよくあるお
We've
とぎ
seen how
話
that's
くらい
gone
に
before.
思ってたぜ。
Yes, yes, we know.
ベアトリーチェはいる。毎年
In
親
quotations.
族会議に来るたびにマリアは会って一緒に遊んでた。
そうですね。ベアトリーチェ様は普段はお姿をお見せになりませ
Yeah,
ん
she's
け
just
ど、
shy.
心が綺麗で素直な方の前にはひょっこり姿を現していたずらをすることもあるそうですからね。
Oh yes, pranks. That's a interesting thing to call them. Beatrice was a name which referred to the being in the fairy tale about the Rokkenjima witch. I guess the family and the servants publicly accepted the image of the witch of Kinzo's delusions to keep him in a good mood. It became established as Rokkenjima's fairy tale, or maybe ghost story. To the family members who knew that history, the fairy tale of the Golden Witch didn't have much substance. However, they hadn't been able to say that in front of Kinzo. So to those who didn't know the history, like young Maria, for example, definitely wasn't unsubstantial. Unsubstantial. Sure. But a real legend of a witch. So Maria believed in the legend of the witch. She swallowed it whole. That was natural for an imaginative girl who believed in witches. So no one said anything to betray her dream. On the contrary, they arranged things together to get her excited about her dreams.
だからマリアちゃんがベアトリーチェにもらったお菓子と言って僕らに見せびらかすことがあっても、多分誰かがそういうことにして、
Yeah.
マリアちゃんの手提げの中に
No, it was
こっそり飴玉でも忍ばせたのだろうって思ってた。
私も昔に2度か3度そうこっそりお菓子を置いてあげたことがあります。おそらく熊沢さんにも、いや使用人の皆さんや後ろ宮家の皆さんも1度や2度はあるんじゃないでしょうか。
Can't crush the
無
dreams
邪
of
気な小
kids.
さい子が喜ぶなら口裏を合わせてお菓子を置いてくこともあるか。ってことはジョージの兄貴なんかだいぶやってそうだな。
まあね。
Admitting that would probably be unrefined. George admitted it while being extremely wary that Maria didn't find
つま
out.
りサンタクロースみたいなもんか。
What he means, Santa Claus exists.
子供の夢を守るために両親がグルで嘘をついて
Oh
寝
no.
静まったこの枕元にプレゼントを置いていたと。
You're really having this discussion right in front of Maria?
子供の夢って守ってあげたいし、私は当然サンタなんていないってとっくに知ってるわけだけど、もし覚めなくてもいい夢だ
Yeah,
った
I
ら
don't know when I,
一
you
生
know,
信じていたかったぜ。
internalized that Santa wasn't real. I was one of those kids who thought Santa existed like for a long time. Kind of. I must have been maybe like 6. I don't know. Like, early enough that I don't remember, like, that paradigm shift where it goes from Santa exists to Santa is just your parents. It seems like it always was Santa was my parents, but who knows? The brain's bad at remembering things from like that long ago and it just tends to make up bullshit to fill in the gaps.
世の中は世知辛いばかりだと知ってしまうからこそ、大人はせめて子供の綺麗な夢を守ってやりたいと思うものです。
ベアトリーチェはいるの。
Santa exists!
へえ、いますとも。
Yeah, she's here.
ベアトリーチェ様はおりますよ。この前もですね、サバを干して紅茶の出汁に使おうとしておりましたら、
Okay, another Kumasawa joke.
こり
I was very taken aback for a moment. I was like,
まあ
ugh.
つまりこういう調子だったはずなんだ
Until
け
it
どね。
clicked about who was saying it.
つまりマリアを除けば誰も信じてなかったはずの魔女ってわけだ。
So therefore,
少し
she exists
言葉
because
が
she
足
has
りない
one
ね。
believer.
信じてなかったんじゃない。信じさせてあげようとしたんだ。
So this was about not betraying a child's innocence. But Santa doesn't exist in reality. If you don't want them to be all disappointed when they learn that, you should just not give them that dream in the first place. Did I think like that because I was still a long way from becoming a full adult? Yes. Battler had finally attained a level of understanding about the true form of the Rokenjima witch. But the current situation lay on an even higher level of understanding than that, and overturned all its premises.
という認識だったはずの
Yeah, there's
魔女の
more,
ベア
you
トリ
know,
ーチェ様
than meets
が
the eye.
実
What's
際に
going on?
現れちまったと。そういうことか。しかもだ。おじさんたちの騒ぎを見る限り、どうも招かれた客でもないらしい。こりゃ面白そうな話だぜ。
ベアトリーチェという女性が実在しないという前提は、実は存在しない。ルドルフおじさんも言っていた悪魔の証明そのものだよ。
We went over this last time.
ベアトリーチェと名乗る女性の存在を僕たちは誰も知らなかった。でもだからといってそれがベアトリーチェが実在する可能性を否定できるわけじゃない。
南條先生はじいさまとの付
Yeah,
き
you
合い
ever
が
meet this
長いですよね。
Beatrice?
一時期親族会議でクラウスさんたちに随分と聞かれた話ですな。その昔金蔵さんにベアトリーチェという愛人がいて、その隠し子がいるのではないかという話です。
なるほどな。親父たちは遺産分配で頭がいっぱいだ。
Yes.
そこに愛人の娘なんてのが現れれば、面倒なことになるのは火を見るより明らかってわけだ。
They have, all they have is a hammer right now, so anything that shows up must be a nail.
クラウスさんたちも最初は源氏さんに聞かれたのでしょう。
And what I mean by that, because I realized that was a fairly poor analogy, was all they're thinking about is the inheritance, so anything unexpected that pops up must be related to the inheritance.
しかし源氏さんは金蔵さんに忠誠を誓う側近で、多分私よりも金蔵さんが心を許す親友です。
Yeah.
源氏さんは多分何も語らなかったのでしょう。それで次に古い友人である私の方に話を聞こうということになったのでしょうな。
で、結論として南條先生。
Yeah, you know, got any beads to spill?
ベアトリーチェという愛人はいたんすか？
I mean, he may have wanted it to be that way, but,
おりました。
ooh.
いえ、私は会ったことはありませんぞ。ですが、そういう女性と交際があったと金蔵さんから聞かされたことはありま
What
した。
kind of relationship?
相当昔にお亡くなりになられたそうで。
死んだ。その間に子供がいたとか？
それはわかりません。ただ金蔵さんはベアトリーチェを蘇らせるために研究をしていると常々言っておりました。普通は愛人を失い忘れがたみがいたならばそちらにその分の愛情を注ぐものです。
Uh-huh, but because
で
he
すから
didn't, you think
金
he
蔵さんと
doesn't.
ベアトリーチェの間に子供はいなかったろうと私たちは自然に考えました。
ってことは、それも悪魔の証明になっちまうな。
Last time was chessboard thinking, now it's devil's proof.
なるぜ。愛人との間に子供がいなかったことは証明不能。現にこうして現れた以上、
Mm-hmm.
いたってことになっちまうわけか。
少し暴力的な理論だね。後宮家の遺産問題でトラブルが生じていることを聞きつけ、
Mm-hmm.
何者かが
Doing little
おじい様の
make-believe.
大昔の愛人関係を知り、それを装っ
Taking
て
advantage of the
遺
situation.
産問題に食い込もうとしているとかの方が現実的だよ。
現実的ではある。
Yeah, more realistic, but pretty easily disprovable.
しかし、
So,
本当に彼女が隠し子で、
probably not the best move to make.
しかもその上、 じい様に顧みられなくて孤独に生き復讐に帰ってきたって設定も否定はできねえよな。
復讐？なんだよそれ。
ああ、すまんすまん。男なんだよ。ついつい面白そうな方に脚色しちまうぜ。妙なドラマの見過
Yeah,
ぎ
just
だな。
spice it up a bit. Normally, that would have been a light joke. But it had come when a mystery guest calling herself Beatrice, who no one had invited, had marched in on the day of the family conference, the day of the inheritance distribution discussion, which even without the witch was threatening to become a bloodbath. There was no way that Battler's joke would be welcomed with laughter. So it was a really big help when Nanjo laughed energetically to calm everyone down. Yes, very energetic.
なるほどなるほど。それはなかなか面白そうですな。そんな筋書きの小説をぜひ読んでみたいものです。
まあ現実にはそんなことはできねえと思う。
Yeah, you know, they say reality is stranger than fiction.
何しろよ。今この島にはひーふー
I mean, originally, but now, you know.
妙なことをすればすぐにでも取り押さえられちまう。それに台風のおかげで島から逃げ出すこともできない。つまりとんでもない事件を起こそうにもどうにもならねえってことさ。
同感だね。退路の断たれた袋小路で、しかも十分怪しまれているような状況下で、そんな恐ろしい復讐劇なんか。
I mean, she's a witch that can, like, you know, shoot daggers and stop bullets, but can she stop these hands?
でしょうな。
Bitch, about to find out why I'm called Battler.
ならば姿など現さずに暗躍しての復讐の方が現実味があるというものです。
Battler? I barely even know her. Hey!
堂々と姿を現して仇討ちなど時代劇の中でしか考えられませんな。
わからねえぜ。復讐ってのは感情でやるもんだ。理屈じゃねえぜ。それこそ刺し違えてでもなんて考えたら別に警察も人数も退路がなくても何も怖くはないかもしれないぜ。
大丈夫だよ、ジェシカちゃん。僕たちが想像するような物騒なことは何も起きないよ。
You got a source for that?
遺産をめぐっておじさんたちがバトルロイヤルってのが物騒なことじゃねえってんならな。
そうだよな。父さんもルドルフおじさんも体格いいし、エヴァおばさんなんか格闘技がなってんでしょ。大丈夫だよね。
Just keep telling yourself that. Jessica didn't say it, but she had vaguely noticed that her own father opposed all the other siblings regarding the inheritance. They acted like everything was good in front of the children, but when that pretense was lifted away, like it had been at dinner, it would become a tumultuous uproar. It was only natural that Jessica, realizing that, would be frightened that her father and mother had gotten into some kind of trouble and were about to be sacrificed for something terrifying.
だよな。ジョージの兄貴の言う通りだぜ。何も起こらねえよ。
Just keep telling yourself
魔女
that.
様の名前を語ろうとも魔法も使えない人間の女が一人で何ができるってんだ。
That's right, because witches aren't real. The sudden, creepy laugh made us all jump. And when we realized that this strange laugh was coming from Maria, we were shocked again.
そうなんだ。それがバトラの認識なんだね。
何かだよ。
Well, yeah, I haven't seen her cast a fireball yet.
気色悪い声で笑うんじゃねえぜ。
バトラはベアトリーチェの存在をとりあえずは認めてる。19人目の客人程度には認めてる。
Yeah, sure.
で
She's not a
も
witch.
そこまでだね。19人目のベアトリーチェが魔女であることは認
Well,
め
of
て
course
な
not.
い、
That'd be
ね。
ridiculous. Witches, we've been over this. Witches aren't real.
突然何を言い出すかと思えばそりゃそうだろ。魔女なんているわけがねえ。それを語る人間の女しかありえねえだろうが。
あれおかしいよバトラ。
What do you mean?
それは悪魔の証明だよ。魔女なんているわけがねえ。 でもそれはバトラが魔女に会ったことがないというだけで。
We've done chessboard thinking. We're on devil's proof. When are we gonna get a fucking Schrodinger's cat?
魔女の存在を否定することにはならないね。
そうだな。確かにそうだ。魔女がいねえを証明することはできない。しかし、証明はできなくても主張はできる。魔女はいねえという俺の主張だ。
I love rhetoric. Join the fucking debate team.
どうして魔女はいないなんて証明できないくせに主張できるの？
そんなものはいねえからだよ。
Yeah, it just doesn't.
それで QED？
What?
何の証拠も根拠もなく証明終了？無知が棚上げする時の典型例。暴力的思考停止だね。
となりゃ答えは一つだぜ。魔女側の反証しかねえってことだろう。
Yeah.
これまた悪魔の証明だ。連れてくりゃ話は早い。この場合はベアトリーチェと名
Yeah,
乗る
just
ご婦
go
人
get
が
Beatrice.
お星様がキラキラ飛び散るような華麗な魔法をステッキででも披露し
I
て
mean, pull a rabbit out of the
人
hat.
間には不可能なことをやってみせればいいってこと。
ほら、お二人とも落ち着いてくださいな。
Well, I hear Beatrice, she can do this thing where, like, you know, like, the top half of her index finger, it, like, comes off in her other hand. It's pretty fucking spooky. Kumasawa noticed that the atmosphere between them was getting worse and tried to calm them down. Tried to calm them. Look at me just making up words. It seemed as though Battler quickly realized that he was acting immaturely, but Maria's expression didn't loosen. She kept staring at Battler as she laughed creepily.
マリアももうよせよ。機嫌直そうぜ。な。
It's okay, Battler, you can throw hands with a child.
それが望みならベアトリーチェはきっと見せてくれるよ。人間には不可能なこと。そしたらバトラも信じるんだよね。ベアトリーチェのこと。
Nope.
おう、そいつを拝ましてくれたら
I mean, he says that, but
信
he
じて
really
やろうじ
means
ゃねえ
no.
か。
魔女とバトラの議論のチェスだね。チェックメイトされたらバトラは魔女を信じる。
おお、洒落た例えだぜ。魔女が魔法を見
Is
せ
it?
る。
Sure.
俺のキングにチェックをかける。俺は人間でも何らかの手段で再現可能だとイチャモンをつけて
Check is different from checkmate,
キングを
my god.
逃がす。それができなきゃチェックメイトってのは確かにいい例えだ。
Okay, there we go. I got you now.
バトラ、チェスというのは相手も自分も同じ動きの駒を持ってる。だから相手の手も読める。
Mm-hmm. But witches do magic shit. They don't play by the
でも
rules.
ね、相手の駒がバトラの駒よりさらに不思議な動きができることをバトラは今想定していない。
Well, then you're not playing chess.
魔女のはずない
And
か
our
らと
analogy just completely
ベア
falls
トリー
apart.
チェの動かす駒の動きを自分とどうせ同じだと決めつけている。
Yeah, what, you're gonna fucking bring in a shogi piece and just throw it on the board and like, oh yeah, my silver general moves like this.
でもね、悪いけどバトラのチェスの相手は人間じゃない。魔女なの。人間にはさせない駒の動きができる。バトラは今そこの認識を間違えているの。
You can't just move chess pieces like they're not chess pieces.
バトラはキリエおばさんのチェス盤思考って好きでしょ？
Sure.
ああ、相手の立場に立っての思考術ってやつを気に入ってるぜ。
You like the Ace Attorney games then.
だからダメなの。相手は魔女なのにバトラはそれを認めない。だから魔女のさせる手を理解できず、
Mhm.
チェス盤思考が通じない。相手の認識を間違えている。チェス盤思考の一番最初の前提が崩れてる。
Yeah.
おお、そう来るかよ。
そなたは魔女とのチェスに勝てぬ。
I guess they really want us to know that she used Sonata in order to refer to Battler, because he's over there, and he's you.
その後
It's
のこと
probably
は
gonna
分
come
か
up
りま
later.
せん。私たち使用人は食堂に近づくなと厳命されましたもので。
なるほどね。
Can't have Kinzo spies around.
それでシャノンはそのベアトリーチェという人物に以前会ったことはある？
You gonna tell the truth?
分かりません。
That was a slightly odd way to say it. I thought it didn't sound like she meant her memory was vague. Okay, that sentence just sounded weird in my brain.
私たち使用人にとってベアトリーチェ様はお屋敷のもう一人の主です。親方様に感化されてそうだと吹聴しているという。私がここへ勤め始めた時からベアトリーチェ様の話は
Okay.
すでに囁かれておりました。
前に聞いたよ。敬わないと呪われたりして実際に事故に遭った使用人もいるんでしょ？
ええ。ただ信じる信じないに個人差があったのは確かです。私はそういうものには敬いを忘れないのが信条ですので存在を疑ったことはあ
Okay,
りません。
I can get that standpoint.
黄金の魔女というその不確か
I
な
don't think
存
it's
在が
Is it a
きっ
standpoint
といる
thing?
と
I know a
お
viewpoint
ぼろげ
thing.
に信じていました。
I'm just gonna stop talking.
それで実際にその不確かな存在の魔女が姿を現して堂々と玄関からやってきたということなのかな？
わかりません。私には何も。
シャノンは夕食を運んだ時に何か話はした？
Well, you know, they made small talk.
いいえ、何も。
Lies.
そっか。しかしご飯を食べる魔女というんじゃなんだかリアリティがないね。やっぱりこの島の魔女伝説を知る何者かがベアトリーチェの名を語っているだけなんだ
I
ろうね。
mean, is it really weird for witch to eat food?
シャノンちゃんはベアトリーチェを多分お屋敷の守り神みたいに思って敬ってきた気持ちがあると思うんだよ。だからそれを名乗る人物が現れたので、少し動揺しちゃったんじゃないかな。
そうですね。きっとそうなんじゃないかと思います。
George was slightly at a loss as what to do about Shannon's downcast appearance. Possibly, not just Genji, but also the young servants, including Shannon, had been strictly questioned about whether they had a clue as to who this person called Beatrice was. Thinking that, he tried to cheer her up somehow. Like Maria and Jessica, Shannon too must be unable to completely hide her agitation over this sudden visit of a person calling herself the Golden Witch. Thought that must be the case. But George had no way of knowing what was in Shannon's heart. Shannon was bitter and sad. The door to the Golden Land would be opened. The witch had definitely told her that. That meant the demise of everything. Even if she accepted the ring from George, now they could never be married. No, in the first place, did furniture like her have the right to be married? Even if the witch hadn't come to tell of their demise, wasn't it fated to fail sometime or another? I mean, that's some real negative thinking right there. Hadn't she turned her gaze towards the fun days with George and purposely closed her eyes to the sad reality?
どうしたんだい？さっきから本当に元気がない。
ジョージさん、婚約って何でしょうか？
あ、
Yeah, who knows?
結婚の約束をするという
Yeah,
意
I
味
mean,
だ
if we're
よ。
going by the dictionary definition.
でも僕はその意味において結婚と同じものだと考えてる。本当なら僕は今すぐにでも君をめとって家へ連れ帰りたい。でも僕は今修行中の身でまだまだ自らの城を築き上げる力量がない。だからこそ一人前になって初めて胸を張って君を連れ帰りたいんだ。それは遠い未来の話じゃない。
I mean, you could just pop the question now and like work on building that castle together.
ほんの3年ほど待ってほしいというだけの話なんだ。
You know, because being married's a team effort and all that.
でも僕はだからといって3年間自分の気持ちを偽っていたくない。だから婚約指輪を贈ろうと決めたんだ。
Alright, alright, good segue.
それは男として情けない理由かもしれない。妻と仕事を両立できないから待ってほしいなんて理由での婚約なんて情けないものかもしれない。
I'll accept this.
でも僕は決して君を。
ありがとうございます。ジョージさんにとって婚約指輪が恋人に贈るプレゼントの一つではない
I
という
mean,
ことが分
I
かり
would
まし
hope
た。
not.
当然だよ。婚約指輪はただのアクセサリーじゃない。尊い約束を指輪の形で残す恋人たちの宣誓なんだ。
だとすると、すぐにも結婚するなら不要なものということになりますよね。
その時は婚約指輪じゃない。
Yeah, it would just be a wedding ring.
結婚指輪として渡すよ。
I mean,
どちらにせよ、
nothing
君
wrong
に
with
指
using
輪を
the
贈ることに変わりは
engagement
ないの
ring
さ。
as the wedding ring. Mm.
この女は俺のものだから誰も手を出すなよっていう売約札みたいなものです
Hey
ね。
man, just because they're goalie doesn't mean you can't score.
いや、そんな意味じゃ。
George knew about his shameful character. When he had fallen for Shannon and sworn to become an excellent man, he had sworn to part ways with that shameful part of himself. So, he chose to answer a little roughly on purpose, believing that Shannon would find it reassuring.
いや、その通りかもしれない。さよ、君を僕の妻にする。他の誰にもやらない。
Yeah, nothing wrong with me, like, just a little smidge of, jealousy in there.
僕だけのものにする。だから、誰も手を出すな。
It's okay to be a little selfish about something.
そういう指輪だよ。間違いない。
ありがとうございます。本当に嬉しいです。
Then, George-san, if it was decided by fate that this engagement ring, that this promise would not be fulfilled, would he still give it to me? Shen was about to ask that, but she swallowed her words, because George had already spoken the answer. George had said it. He had said that to him, an engagement ring was infinitely similar to a wedding ring. Therefore, accepting George's ring had a far more sacred significance than a promise to marry.
だから、僕はあえてこれを婚約指輪と呼ぶのをやめにする。今からこれは婚約じゃない。結婚指輪だ。
Yeah, you're getting married in the spiritual sense.
いいのでしょうか。神様の祝福もなく、私たちが結ばれたことを、
Fuck
そ
God.
の
What has he ever done for any of us,
宣
huh?
言してもいいのでしょうか。
神様も父さんも母さんも全て事後報告で十分さ。僕たちが二人は結ばれたと一方的に宣言す
Alright,
る。
I guess we are going the shotgun wedding route.
それは誰にも覆せない。
ジョージさん、
僕は一時の感情で言ってるんじゃない。今だけの君を見て言ってるんじゃない。明日の君も明後日の君も、
Alright, alright,
それ
alright.
こそ未来の老後の君すらも見据えて言っている。
いつもジョージさんが話していることですよね。元気な子供や孫たちに囲まれて、ゆっくりとした老後を過ごしたいって。
Well, we'll see if you even, get to middle age. Which, the situation on the island right now, it's not looking too good for your bud.
年老いた君がいる。それを僕はいや予言するよ。必ずその日は訪れるから。
必ず私信じてもいいですか？
必ず絶対それを言葉でない形で証明するのが。
見せてください。
Yeah, it's got a fat diamond on it. Or did you get it from like the fucking grocery store gotcha machine? George, thinking he was being told to show her the ring, hurriedly took out the ring box. Even though he had practiced so much, he hadn't been able to look cool. But Shannon wasn't looking at that. With a straight, direct gaze, with faint tears and a smile, she was staring right at George's eyes. No, into something she could see beyond his eyes.
私にその未来を見せてください。
Yeah, she means more in like the metaphysical sense.
見せるよ。必ず。約束する。老後までじゃない。死んだ後も、僕らは魂になっても、ずっとずっと一緒にいる。
Sounds kind of annoying. Like, I get being together, but like, like always? Like, damn, bro. You need a little space. Shannon wiped away her tears and took out the ring box. Inside was a diamond ring with more than, a diamond ring more than worthy of blessing the two of them. George said the line that he had practiced over and over again inside his head.
その指輪を好きな指にはめて、それを返事にしてほしいんだ。
Well, he hadn't been able to say it cool, or be cool when he said it.
つまり、明日の朝までに。
Fucking spaghetti all over out of his pockets onto the table. Shannon smiled, took the ring, and with a completely natural movement, put it on the ring finger of her left hand. It really had looked like a very, very natural movement, and for a while, George was stunned.
これが私
Yep,
のお返
no
事
point in
です。
waiting.
ジョージさん。
シャノン。いや、さよ。
魂になってもずっとずっと一緒です。
Ooh, it's a bit more loaded when you say it like that.
ジョージさん。
There was no blessing from God, no pastor to witness, nothing. But the two to be married had proclaimed it. Two souls were joined here today. Now, if only I could have read those lines without stuttering all over the place. But we both know that's never going to happen. Can't teach an old dog new tricks.
姉さんはバカだ。
How can you even see that far?
そうかな。
Okay, I was about to say, like, what, you fucking creeping out the window looking at the gazebo? I'm like, are you... what? But no, she's just standing right in front of him.
家具のくせに家具のくせに。
私家具じゃないよ。もう。
Yeah, but she's like a really good leather couch, or, you know, like if you get some, like, olive oil, and, you know, you can get some stuff going with furniture.
嘘だ。どうして自分を騙すんだよ。人間になんか絶対になれないって知ってるくせに。黄金鏡へ行かなきゃ人間になれないって知ってるくせに。なのに、どうして黄金鏡へ行ける約束を自分で保護に。
You know, people's priorities change.
そっか。指輪を受け取ったら、ベアトリーチェ様との約束がなかったことになっちゃうんだったね。
Suppose so.
ごめんね。
Damn, then guess you just had to lick and slobber over Beatrice's toes for no reason, my guy.
あとは
Crying shame.
僕も姉さんもジョージ様も親方様もみんな条件は同じだ。13人が生贄にされる。
Mm-hmm.
5人しか黄金鏡に招かれない。
All random.
その一石を自分で蹴る。
おかしいね。未練があるのはカノン君の方みたいだね。
Yeah, for furniture, you seem to be real fucking emotional.
未練があるのは姉さんの方じゃないか。婚約しちゃったんだろう。果たせない運命なのを知りながら。
ずっとずっと永遠に一緒だよって約束した。
If anything, you know, it's no regrets, because it's all out there. Nothing left to be said. It's just fucking all up to the dice roll now.
だからね、その瞬間に私たちの永遠
No
は
loose ends.
完成したの。たとえ 私たちが生贄になってしまうとしても。だから、いいの。未練があるのは、むしろカノン君の方。私たちは家具なんでしょ？私たちはどういう結果になろうとも解放される。なら、黄金鏡に行けるか行けないかなんて、どうでもいいことじゃない。なのに、カノン君は黄金鏡へ行くことに固執してる。どうしても人間になりたいんでしょ？どうして？
Yeah, that's a weird weird emotion for furniture
人
to
間
have.
になりたいからだよ。家具はもう嫌だ。
どうして？
僕も恋がしたかったんだ。
Tears spilled from both the cannon's eyes, and he
お
howled.
嬢様のことが好きだった。そしてあの日のお嬢様の姿を見てもっと好きになった。そしてお嬢様も僕のことが好きだと分かってすごく嬉しかった。でも僕は家具で、お嬢様の気持ちを受け止めることはできなくて。
I mean, you
そ
could
れ
have.
が勘違
You're
いだっ
just
た。
you're just too lost in your own little world.
私たちは家具かもしれない。人間以下かもしれない。でも、恋をする資格がないわけじゃなかった。
添い遂げられぬ思いならない方がマシだって思った。いつか自分も消え去る日が来て、それがきっとお嬢様を傷つけるなんて勝手に決めつけて。違うんだ。
Yep, you were just a fraidy baby.
僕が怯えていただ
You
け
were
なんだ。
scared.
僕は
Little bitch baby was scared.
永遠になれない恋ならしない方がマシだって怯えてただけなんだ。
Uh-huh.
セミは生涯のうち数週間にも満たないわずかな期間で恋をして消えていくんだって。数週間で終わる恋だからと恋をしないセミはいないんじゃないかな。
You fucked up, bud. Seemed the cannon was still speaking of regrets, but by now it was all jumbled up in his crying
あの魔
voice.
女が憎い。僕にどうしてこんな気持ちを植え付けて。
They were always there. She just pointed them out.
あいつさえ妙ないたずらをしなければ僕はお嬢様のことなんか気にならなかったのに。
ベアトリーチェ様はひどいね。
Yeah, she kind of sucks.
カノン君にそうやって悔し泣きをさせるために運命をいたずらした。でも魔女の思惑は多分だって。
Knowing love isn't a lingering attachment that ties you to life. It is the place that we reach. What? It is the place we should reach on our journey through life.
どういうわけだカノン。
You're just standing out in the rain?
せっかくの約束はこれで遂行だな。さてさて、これにてすべての
Like you
駒の
changed
条
into
件
your
は
dress
同じよ。
specifically just to go stand in the rain?
駒は18。
What a fucking drama
13人
queen.
が生贄に捧げられる。生き残る5人は誰か。それとも誰かがこの儀式を打ち壊してみせるか。誰が
Yeah,
ど
can't
う
play a
や
game
っ
if the
て。
board is smashed.
これはチェスプロブレムではない。対等なゲームだ。わらわだけが一方的に詰めるわけではない。そなたはわらわの詰めから懸命に逃れ続け、引き分け無効試合に持ち込むことができる。
Okay.
まあせいぜいそなたにできるのはそれを延々と繰り返すのが関の山よ。そしておそらくそれはそなたにとってそう難しいことではあるまい。しかしそなたは永遠に続く無効試合に
Okay, so
やが
it's
て精神
the
をすり
tricky
減
part
ら
isn't
し
losing. The
やが
tricky
ては
part
精神を
is
殺
actually
す。
winning.
その時にこそ敗北を受け入れわらわに屈服することになるであろう。対等なゲームと言った理由、それはわらわにも敗北の条件を設けてあることだ。負けのないゲームほど退屈なものはないのでな。わらわを任す方法、それはわらわの肖像画に捧げら
Gotta
れ
get the
た
golds.
あれこそは黄金鏡の扉の開き方にして同時に儀式を打ち破る
Gotta
鍵
do a
で
little
もある。
brainstorming, which I won't do because I'm real fucking dumb and I won't be able to find it out on my own, and I know that. I'm perfectly fine with that. Don't expect some big grand theories from your boy here. I'm just fucking gonna roll with the punches.
わらわは碑文に従い儀式を完
I'll
遂
give my
する。
off the cuff like theories and thoughts, but don't expect me to like go to the fucking the cork board with all my yarn and like pictures and like make my connections and like try to solve this myself because it ain't happening, Chief.
そなたは碑文の謎を解き儀式を打ち破りわらわを滅ぼす。碑文に隠された謎を解きわらわが金蔵に値し莫大なる黄金のありかを暴いてみせよ。こたびのゲームはどういう結末を見せるのやら健闘を期待するぞ。わらわを楽しませてみせろよ。後ろ宮バトラー。
She's just off in the garden, walking around, just yelling to herself. You have a chapel on this island too?
異論がない。私と夏日は認める。
信じられないし信じたくないけれどそれが現実なのね。
夏日、言葉を少し選びなさい。彼女は当家の最高の賓客なんだ。
わしらも認める。グーの音も出えへん。
へえ、認めるわ。一片の文句もない。まさか
But,
本当に
what are you all accepting here?
素直にあなたに尊敬の念を覚えるわ。
私もよ。すごいわ。純粋に尊敬する。だから認めざるを得ないわ。
俺も認めるぜ。未だに信じられねえ。だがどうしようね。悪魔を証明しちまった。あんたの勝ちだ。
Okay.
悪魔の証明はそなたが好む証明不能への便利な言い訳だったが。
いじめるなよ魔女様。俺はもうあんたを認めてるぜ。降参だ。
They're tapping out. How about you, Kyrie?
キリエ、まだ
You
異
believe
論
in
がある
witches?
か。わらわは全員一致しか好まぬ。お前一人がわらわの存在を認めぬならば。
As the witch laughed boldly, the siblings started to panic. They were afraid of displeasing the witch. Kyrie lightly closed her eyes, and after keeping silent for a while, opened her mouth.
ごめんなさい、降参よ。
Only Kyrie had faced the witch with stern eyes until the end. However, she had only been able to resist acknowledging the truth for a short time. The reality, the being that was before her eyes, couldn't be denied. Devils had already been proven.
私も認めるわ。あなたはベアトリーチェ、後ろ宮家の顧問錬金術師、そして偉大なる魔法の使い手、魔女であることを認めざるを得ない。
Do we get to see the magic? No. I'm telling you guys, she just did the thing where she like pulled off her own finger and like blew everyone's mind. That's all it took. Yeah, tick-tock, tick-tock. Well, first twilight. Just gonna linger. Who's it gonna be? I wouldn't mind if it was Goda again. I think Maria's a creepy little shit, but, you know, I'm not gonna throw her under the bus just yet. Ooh. Damn, fucking waking him up at 6 in the morning. Ugh. What was the sound that always filled the ears? The beating of your own heart? I don't know. The sound of the rain? The sound of a waterfall? Or was it radio static? In that case, I want to be the sound of blood flowing through the body. You know, you can actually hear that if we go to, oh god, I forget the name of the room, but it's like a room that's specially designed to, like, cancel out all ambient sound. And, like, it drives people up the fucking wall to be in there because you can hear your own body, and there's, like, no, like, literally no background noise whatsoever, and it's just so unnatural. It just gives people the heebie-jeebies and they want to get out. Was it blood flowing through my body? I want to be the sound of the blood circulating throughout my body, telling me that I'm still alive.
Asa nanoka.
Yeah. And you didn't croak. Light entering through a crack in the curtain was faint, but at least told him that dawn had broken. Kinzo, still in the same pose he had when he awoke, was sitting in his chair and looking up at the ceiling. He felt the blood slowly travel throughout his body. Judging by the clock, it was early morning, 6 on the dot. No matter how tired he was, no matter how deeply he slept, he woke up at exactly this time. He woke up at exactly this time, as though he had measured it with an hourglass. He didn't think that something like this was worthy of boasting of, but he had told himself that he could still do something like this. He was still robust in health. People are creatures of habit. Also, you know, your internal clock's pretty good. I'm one of those people that if I set an alarm, I will always wake up within like 10 minutes before it goes off. No matter like what time I set it.
どうやら最初の生贄は逃れたということらしい。ルーレットの目が幸運だったのか、我が努力の賜物なのか。
Maybe a little both.
区別のつかぬところが何とももどかしいが、それは言うまい。
Kinzo was very slightly driven by temptation to look at the other side of the sturdy door, because he thought that he might find the traces of a vain struggle to break the door, maybe by something trying to select him as one of the 6 sacrifices.
人間とは安っぽい生き物だな。人事を尽くして天命を待ちながら 幸運を得られた時にはそれが単なる幸運ではなく、己の技量によるものだったとうぬぼれたくもなる。
So he wanted to check whether there was a wretched mark on the door. That is only human. Therefore, Ginzo did not check. He repressed the things he wanted to do because he was human. By that, Ginzo could immerse himself in a feeling of sufficiency, as though he had become a being that surpassed humans. He became aware of human desire and forbade it. Things that humans wanted to do, he resisted. This eccentric and rebellious sense had surely given him a rare genius, which must have allowed him to succeed in his exploits as he revived the Ushiromiya family in one generation.
さて、ベアトリーチェ、お前が取った
That man's
6
got
つ
some
の駒
self-control.
は何なのか。そして次なる手はどう来るのか。楽しませてもらうぞ。私の守りは完璧だ。前回のような無様はさらさぬぞ。
Now, by last time, do you mean last time? Or do you mean like the last time, you were together with Beatrice? Like in the past? The servants woke early. They had to open the curtains, prepare breakfast, and complete various other tasks to welcome the guests to a new day. Goto was the most enthusiastic. He had been told to concentrate his efforts in particular on his work as a chef for the duration of the family conference, and he had been specifically exempted from several tasks that servants normally must do. It seemed that Goto, who was a show-off, had a particular feeling of supremacy about that. He left the preparations of the inside of the mansion to Genji and the rest, and worked on preparing breakfast in the kitchen. Genji split the work with Shannon and Cannon, and they carried out various tasks. Shannon headed to the dining hall and knocked. Last year, the family conference had continued into the small hours of the night. It wouldn't have been odd for this year's conference to continue all the way into the next morning. So she knocked out of consideration the possibility that they were still having a discussion inside. But there was no response, so she opened the door and said good morning. And I continued to stutter every single line.
おはようございます。いらっしゃいませんか?
The room was cold, and it seemed that the conference had ended a long time before. On the top of the table, there was a tea set, from which they had probably been drinking, arranged in a way that would make it easy to clean them up. Cleaning away the tea was a servant's job. So if the family was too caring and cleaned it up themselves, the servants would lose face. Therefore, just doing this much for the servants truly was a pleasing act of kindness. As she approached the table to clean it away, she noticed that something like a memo had been left along with the cups. It had been placed together with the tea set, so naturally... there's another comment there. So, naturally thinking it was a memo for the servants cleaning up, Shannon took it. Written on it was none a request, or thanks for preparing the tea, but just a single word. Shannon looked at it blankly and read it out loud. Is that one of those second letters? One of the two letters, I should say. A small sound kept repeating over and over. It was a sound that would ordinarily have been trivial and insignificant. I hope I stop hearing it soon, and I could return to my doze, someone thought vaguely. But no matter how much time passed, the sound did not end. It repeated over and over. Shut up. Who is that? Banging on the door constantly. As soon as she realized this, she woke up. Someone was knocking. Then she noticed that it wasn't just a knock, but a voice too.
Rosa-sama. Rosa-sama. Ohayou gozaimasu.
待って、今行きます。
Now I've got to put your pants on. It had been Genji's voice. Looking at the clock, it was still before 7. It was clearly too early to wake the guests. The something happen that was bad enough to cause this? She felt her sleepiness increasingly fade thanks to this ominous premonition. Because Genji had been a familiar servant to Rosa since her childhood days, she opened the door a crack and answered, even though she was slightly defenseless in her pajamas. Don't be weird about it, like, I'm in my pajamas too.
おはようございます。早朝から申し訳ございません。
何かあったの？
はい、実は礼拝堂に。
Genji spoke into Rosa's ears and told her something in a small voice. It seemed that Rosa couldn't understand what she was being told after only hearing it once. After repeating the words back to him several times, she finally realized that apparently something strange had happened. Rosa closed her door for a second, and after changing her clothes, she immediately accompanied Genji, and they headed to the mansion. The chapel requires some explanation, yeah, because we didn't know it existed. It wasn't in the mansion, but in a grove behind the mansion, which could be reached after a short walk. It had been built at the same time that the mansion had been constructed on Rokujima, so while its outside walls had been repaired many times, making it look new from the outside, it was a very old building. I wouldn't call it that old. You know, because the mansion on Rokujima isn't that old. Weird. Let me read that. Mansion constructed on Rokujima, built at the same time. Yeah, what? That's not an old building. Whatever. Rosa and Genji dashed through the rain together. Just like the previous night, the rain was falling in earnest. I gotta be careful, I almost said honest. Eventually, they began to see the chapel beyond a sparse grove. All she knew of it was its appearance from the outside. It might have felt like a place of dazzling beauty, where a pair of young lovers might want to hold a ceremony. However, it seemed that in Kinzo's eyes, this was a very sacred place, and Rose and her siblings had been harshly told not to approach it unnecessarily. So even at this age, and no matter what the reason for it, she felt some guilt in approaching the chapel. And was gripped by the fear that this would surely make her father so angry he would slap her across the face. The servant silhouettes could be seen in front of the entrance to the chapel. Goda, Shannon, and Cannon. Which meant that all the servants on the morning shift had gathered. For a while ago, Rose had been told the nature of the situation verbally by Genji. However, without laying eyes on it directly, she really hadn't been able to understand. Probably because all the servants gathered there were the same. Without seeing it with their own eyes, they couldn't understand what was going on. Uh-oh. Because on the door that was the entrance to the chapel, drawn very large, with a creepy, sticky paint-like substance that made one think of blood, was something like a creepy magic circle. Last night, probably. Servants looked at each other. Goda was the first to open his mouth. Why are you apologizing? Did you fucking do it? I mean, it looks wet.
最初に見つけたのは誰？はい。食堂へお茶の道具の片付けに行きましたら、礼拝堂と書かれたメモがあったもので。
Shannon held out the memo with a shaking hand.
誰の字？兄さんや姉さんの字ではないわね。それで、あなたはここへ来てこれを見つけたのね。
はい。
王様、これを。
But what are we looking at? Yeah, that's the magic circle, all right. Happy? Oh, that's her. Oh, it's in English. That's why it's in like. Oh god, what do you even call that? It's not parentheses. It's not in brackets. Then. Look at that. It's Halloween today. Like I said, look, I'll even I'll even, where is it? Yeah, down there. It's the 31st of October. Kenna was pointing at a single line of the English written below the creepy magic circle. Till it had been pointed out to her, she had thought it was just another part of the magic circle and hadn't noticed it. Written there in English were the words, "Happy Halloween for Maria." Happy Halloween for Maria. Wish for an enjoyable Halloween for Maria. A creepy magic circle for Maria. Happy Halloween. The only person who said the words Happy Halloween to Maria yesterday, the symbols matched. Golden Witch Beatrice.
Maria はあの子、いとこたちと一緒に寝てるはずよね。
Well,
確認した。
申し訳ございません。マリア様のお名前が書かれていたことには今気づきましたので、まだ確認しておりません。至急。
何やってんのよ。私はマリアの様子を見てきます。それからクラウス兄さんたちにも知らせて、以後の対応の指示を受けて。
After saying that much, Rosa finally noticed that something was out of place. Yeah, why would they get you first if, they hadn't noticed the Maria name there? Her own rank within this family conference was the lowest of the four siblings. In an abnormal situation like this, why had she been the only one called when the other siblings hadn't? Even if Maria's name had popped up. Last man standing.
旦那様にご連絡申し上げようとしたのですが、お姿が見当たらず。
Well, I'm sure if you go into the chapel, you might find him real easy.
奥様もお部屋におられません。シーツの様子からすると、昨夜はベッドに戻られていないのかもしれません。
What, is she like a sweaty sleeper? Did, like, it not just have a silhouette of her body just, like, on the sheets? Rosa felt something creepy crawling slowly up her back.
礼拝堂の中に確認した。いえ、まだです。確認しようとしたんですが。
Didn't have the guts.
実は礼拝堂の鍵は特別。
Oh.
一本だけある鍵でしか開けられないのです。その鍵はキーボックスから紛失している。
Sorry, Genji, you're gonna have to speak up. It's real windy. She didn't want to get any closer to the door with a creepy magic circle if she could help it. Rosa readied herself and approached. Tried pushing and pulling the knob. All she felt was the resistance of the sturdy lock.
入れる窓などがないか探してはみたのですが、もし中を確認するのでしたら窓を破らなければならないかと思います。いかがいたしましょう。
Yeah, do it.
そんな許可私に出せるわけがないわ。お父様の大切な礼拝堂なのよ。そんなことできないわよ。
Fuck him. Seemed like you were a little goody two-shoes growing up, so, have your rebellious period a little late. Then the events of the previous day swirled around in the back of Rosa's mind. That's right. When I met that witch in the rose garden, didn't she hand Maria an envelope? Yes, I'm positive she did. When Maria tried to open it, the witch had told her not to do that yet, and then she had definitely said the time will come soon to open it. Rose became convinced. There could be no doubt. The letter which had been handed to Maria. Oh, did it just have the key in it? I feel like that would have been pretty easy to, discern, like, what's in the envelope if it just had a key. After dashing back into the guest house, Rosa approached the cousins' rooms while hiding her footsteps. Softly opened the door and peered inside. On the inside, she could hear the healthy snores of young people. The four children were all there. Maria was there, sleeping soundly. After heaving a sigh of relief, she entered the room with quiet footsteps. She was after Maria's handbag, which was resting on the sofa. Maria always liked walking around with her treasures. She was probably imitating how her mother always carried her makeup with her. Of course, she was just copying her, so on the inside, it was all full of junk. Hey man, don't call like little kids' treasures junk. In Maria's case, there was a small, creepy, occult-like items and a notebook with things like that written in it. Rosa hadn't once been happy to see her daughter walking around with those kinds of ungirlish things. However, after she had tried to force Maria to stop, they had gotten into a big fight and decided to let it be. Yeah, probably after you beat the shit out of her. Western envelope with the crest of the Golden Eagle. When she took it out, she could tell that there was a heavy cylindrical object inside. She could tell by its feel and weight. There was no doubt. This was a key. After turning around and checking that Maria was still sound asleep, Rosa tore open the envelope and tipped out the contents into her palm. It was a key with an old, intricate design. Rosa grasped that key and dashed out, and then slammed the door. It seemed that Battler noticed those sounds, but after grumbling and turning over to sleep, started snoring again. I don't get people that are heavy sleepers. Like, I mean, I'm of like two minds. Like, if it's a noise that, you know, isn't unnatural, like, you know, my phone vibrating because work is trying to call me, yeah, I'll sleep right through it. But like, directly across from my window, kind of like diagonally, like 50 feet, there's like a parking lot for a building next to me. And like if someone starts talking out there a little too loudly, I will fucking just snap instantly awake. Because I'm like, is someone in my room talking? So the sound of like someone walking around and muttering to himself, like tearing paper, I would be up in an instant. Alright, yeah, let's open up and get out of this rain. I've had enough of this wind ASMR. Rosa approached the creepy magic circle once again and put the key in the keyhole. There was a strong resistance. After it resisted for a short while, it stopped that resistance with a clunk. Then, squeaking with a noise that hurt one's ears, slowly began to open. The voice reverberated throughout the massive room. Of course, there was no answer. Chow by the high ceiling, and the air was cold. And even on this rainy, unsettling day, for some reason, it felt sacred. The servants timidly followed after Rosa.
Rosa-sama, are o.
Cannon noticed it immediately and pointed. Over there was the altar. Kind of weird to have like a conference table set up there, unless it was specifically moved in there, for this purpose. In a place where normally a pastor would preach of God's love, there was a table that shouldn't have been there. Okay, that explains it. At first, it looked like a dining table. And there actually were gorgeous plates and utensils set on the table, enough to make you think it was a child's birthday party or something. On closer inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. Is that blood? Oh, I did. I guess hitting spacebar also advances the text. I didn't mean to move on, but there's some splatter on some of that candy. Child's birthday or something. Upon close inspection, the surrounding area had been decorated with pumpkins and black and orange ribbons. There were probably Halloween decorations. And there were people seated at the table. 3 people on each side facing each other, seated in chairs. They could be recognized at a glance. Kraus and his wife, Ava and her husband, and Rudolph and his wife. But if you were to ask if these were definitely them, you'd still have to go even closer to check. Because they seemed almost like dolls. Rosa and the rest had opened the door, entered all at once with the sound of many footsteps, and called out, asking if anyone was there. And yet, there had been no reaction. Even assuming they had chosen to ignore them, normally you'd expect there to be some kind of reaction. There hadn't even been that. So at first, it felt like someone had set down some dolls that looked a lot like them. By now, it wasn't just Rosa, Shannon and Cannon, and even Goda. They were all fighting frantically against the rising, creepy emotion tightly grasping their hearts. As she climbed up to the altar, she called out again, but still, the others gave no reaction. Yes, but now Rosa had accepted it. They were not dolls. She had accepted that they were those very people. They approached close enough to be able to see clearly what was on the table. Just like their first impression, it looked like a lovely banquet, reminiscent of a child's birthday party. Plates piled up with sweets, glasses with lovely drinks, several ornaments in the shapes of pumpkins. They were all decorated in a Halloween style, and while it might have been an irrelevant thought at a time like this, she thought that this would surely make Maria happy if she could see it. They were seated in front of that table, and it looked like they were sleeping. It was an eerie scene, as though a small, fun-looking Halloween party had been stopped in time. When she approached even closer to them, she realized that candies were scattered all over the floor. There were candies in very fancy wrapping, cookies, fizzy lemon sweets, chocolates, the whole shebang. And they were all distributed across the carpet, which was covered with blackberry and cranberry jam. I don't think that's jam. Only one man would dare to give me the raspberry. Lone Star. Rosa and the rest finally realized what the situation was. It was a Halloween party. A banquet for those not of this world. Kraus, Nazi, Ava, Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kyrie, 6 people in all, were seated in the chairs, dead as though they were sleeping. How could you tell that they were dead and not simply sleeping? Well, that was because they were, from their chests to their stomachs, vertically sliced open. Brutal. The 6 of them were seated at a Halloween party, all of them killed with their stomachs sliced open. Was the jam that covered the floor something that they couldn't finish eating, which had overflowed out of their stomachs? No. The contents of their stomachs had been splattered all over the floor. That wasn't all. On their stomachs, almost as though they had spilled out sweets. Gross. Candies and cookies, fizzy lemon sweets and chocolates, had spilled out, stained with blood, and had scattered across the floor. What could have happened to cause this? It's almost as though the inside of their stomachs had been stuffed full of sweets, and then when their stomachs had been cut, they had flown out. Ooh, I almost said over, but it was out. Rosa remembered a gross-out meal, a turkey that had been served at her own birthday when she was a young girl. When she had put a knife in, on the inside, her very favorite, what? When she had put the knife in from the inside, her very favorite, but because no one had told her about it at all, bright red ketchup omelet rice had poured out like blood-stained maggots. Oh! blood, dripping, slimy, pulpy, sticky. Itchy, tasty? Yeah, that's a rough one. The trauma of her youth was revived. Rosa felt a monster raging inside her stomach, and the acid started to rise. Unable to hold back, she threw up on the floor. Same, bro. Her empty stomach couldn't throw up anything but stomach acid. The scene in front of her was no longer a fun Halloween party by any means. Yeah, now it's a fucking slasher flick. The 3 couples have been placed there, their stomachs vertically wretched open with a yeah! Lots and lots of sweets have been stuffed in there. Pulpy, apugulu, blueshu. What? Blood and guts and sweets were overflowing out onto the floor. Bloodstained, sticky, sloppy, pulpy sweet candy stuck to each finger, gummy. But it's stained with their entrails, sloppy, pulpy. What was that I stepped on just now? I feel like a candy or a cookie or a fizzy lemon sweet or a chocolate. I'm so scared I can't even look at the bottom of my foot to see what I stepped on. Yeah, probably best just like wipe it on the carpet. Womanly high-pitched scream. What a gruesome Halloween party. That was one way to put it. From far away, it looked like a beautiful, fantastical, and fun. Yes, a fantastical. And when you see it up close, it's really terrible, disgusting, and yet still somehow beautiful. Rose's wild thoughts tried as best as they could to escape her throat with a wild voice that was neither a scream nor a roar. Who signs your paychecks? Is it Kraus or Kinzo? Because I'd be concerned right now, depending on who it was. It's a little late for that, bud. If a word tied to reality like police hadn't come out of Goda's mouth, Rose and the rest would probably still have been unable to escape this nightmarish party. That wasn't because they thought that the police might be able to do something. They didn't say police out loud. It felt like another seat would be set up at the demon's party and given to them. It felt like their own stomachs were getting uncomfortably filled from the inside. Rumbling, churning. Surely because the candy was starting to overflow from their stomachs. They start fantasizing about inflation? That's a weird thing to do in this situation. A bit odd. Rosa was again tortured by the desire to vomit and threw up her stomach acid on the floor. And then she searched to see whether there was any candy mixed in. Damn, this shit's wild. Yep, anyway, moving on. Rosa coughed violently again and violently spat up the stomach acid that burned her throat onto the floor. She realized that by now, her whole body had been covered in filthy sweat.
源氏さんとシャナンちゃんがお父様に連絡して指示を仰いでちょうだい。郷田さんはカノン君と一緒に行って警察に電話を。あと南條先生に来てもらう。
Nanjo come here and what? It was way too late for medical care. Servants accepted their orders and dashed outside. After watching them leave, Rosa once again fixedly cast her eyes upon her siblings, who had been through life's joys and sorrows with her and their partners. Even though there could be nothing more tragic, for some reason, the fantastical deaths tempted her to describe them as beautiful. Yeah, it's kind of artsy, in a sense. In a very macabre, fucked up way. Well, with that is where we're going to end this part for today, because, the last stopping point was like, it was like at the 50-minute mark, but that was too soon. And, we find out who bit it, so, that seems like a relatively decent spot. But before that, we will read the character death profiles. Ushirmir Kraus, corpse found inside the chapel. The direct cause of death is unknown, but it seems as if his stomach was cut open and his intestines were pulled out after his death. Additionally, sweets and candies were packed into his stomach. Welcome, Maria. Happy Halloween. Are these just all going to be the same? Oh, wait. Oh, just the little end bits are different. See? Didn't I tell you? Bellies are full of candy. Everyone has a belly that's filled with sweet dreams. A belly could never be full of disgusting things. That's why we wanted to... what? That's why we want to be simple and sweet like candy. So this dreamland is for you. Happy Halloween. Ooh, spooky. But yeah, we're done here. So, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. See you all next time for the next episode of Umineko, where we will get the aftermath of everyone, well, not everyone, just those 6 being dead. And once again, happy belated Halloween. Catch you guys next time. Later.